What's going on? What's going on? People. Shout out, mic check. We good, we good. Go ahead and drop this little link right here. People. Hey man, drop the link. People want to come up. A little rain out here, but we're gonna keep it moving. Hey, thinking about this mindset where a lot of people, man, they just stricken in poverty, man. Like all they know is go. All they know is go. You got family members going against things. You got society going against, and all we know is go. You know, we've been taught a lot of our situations can be overcome by this money aspect, by relationships, and when it boils down, none of this stuff is really working. I mean, you got family that's trying to this way, this and that way. All of us are all out here just, trying to make it. So the mindset is that we get out here, we work a job. Hope this ain't gonna be too loud with all the rain. But we go work a job. We do what's best for us by taking care of the family, kids, all this stuff. But in the end, like what's the bigger picture? Like what's the main goal that we trying to achieve? The mindset is for us to go to college, work, go to college, all this stuff. Once again, we've been pushing in this direction. What's going on right here? Hey, is that rain in the background too loud? Can you hear that? Mic check, mic check. Yeah, but it's like the goal, man, for us to do better in life. We gotta follow along the narrative. You know, work that 40-hour job, go get a salary job. You know, okay. Let's try to see. I really need to try to see if I can switch over to my head as a noise cancellation. I'm gonna see if I get this noise cancellation headset. My other headset went out on me, so I don't even think I can use that joker. Let me see if I can. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. All right. Hopefully these got the background canceled a little bit. I mean, I just caught it right when it started raining. Ain't got nowhere to duck off and chill for a minute and let the rain go down. All right, so basically, like I say, the mindset, man, just real simple. When it come down to it, we have a lot of situations going on in our life. You know, for one, cynical what's going on with you. Nobody's really teaching us financial literacy. You know, our parents didn't learn it. Prime example, I got a good coworker at my job. He's about in his 50s, I think about 54. He literally said that he had his dad in his life. His mom and his dad stayed together till his dad died. But the thing of it was, even though he was there, It wasn't like he wasn't a deadbeat father, just didn't really teach him nothing. He taught him stuff. He was there on him. He was a disciplinary. But the problem lied that his dad didn't really know much. So he couldn't teach him stuff that he didn't know. Same for his mother. His mother went down the same path. She couldn't teach what she didn't know. So hence him going to college, getting a trade in communication, but couldn't really use that degree. Excuse me. But so he had to settle for other things. End up getting into CDLs, start driving trucks. He still, played around with that communication every once in a while, due to the fact that he dealt with it with the college for. But just wasn't there. He expressed to me like, man, if my dad was more financial literate, I would have bought my house at a younger age. I would have not went to school for this, but went to school for this. Like his whole thing was, I could have went to school, got a trade, finished school with a trade, got into my career early, versus trying to get into my career later in life. You know, him driving trucks, it wasn't his career path, but at the same time, it was something that he could do to make a lot of money, and not have any restraints compared to other careers, to where they were saying that, yeah, you got to do this, you got to get this job, you got to know this person. Is the rain still coming in pretty hard? Mic check. Is the rain still coming in pretty hard? Can you hear it? Let me see if I can go back in here and see if this echo or noise cancellation can pull some of it out. Echo cancel, automatic. Okay. We're just gonna rock with it and keep it moving. But needless to say, like I said, him going into the situation to where if he had his father that was a little more educated, he probably would have made better decisions with his career path. He would have took a better approach, you know. And needless to say, for his, other brothers and sisters the same. They all, you know, did certain things in life that made him gain, wealth, but it took time. Just like he expressed getting his CELs later on, a couple of years after graduating college, compared to just went on and got it already, or been in that career path and having a CEL. You know, that's like the biggest thing. Having a situation where you put yourself in at a young age, you can, do a lot better compared to being your older age, just still trying to figure out life. That's always been my narrative. Like I say, I don't want to be the old guy that's still trying to figure out life. I want to be the old guy that's tweaking some things and just getting it right. That's why I try to focus more on financial literacy, talking to people about finance, talking life insurance, emotional health. Like these are the things that we actually need to have the conversations, because when you're young, these are the best times to have this conversation. Like I told people, prime example. The main reason why I got married young, I wanted to have my kids young. I wanted to, grow with my kids, grow with my wife, and we have those 40-year marriages. You know, one of my coworkers, he's been married for 25 years. That's unheard of nowadays. You know, even to the degree that my grandmother been married for my granddad all those years and just decided to leave. Same with, other family members. You know, and it's crazy. Like on one hand, the women were still single compared to the men just remarried. You know, and it poses a kind of a question to those situations. You know, the elevation of money, like the inflation that's going on, it's hurting a lot of people's pockets. You know, not saying that everybody needs somebody, but at the same time, if you don't have that money or some type of support to help you, that pension's gonna hurt. You know, a lot of jobs are not even going up on raises. A lot of jobs are not even giving increase on pay, but yet everything is going up. Gas is going up. Food is going up. You know, people have mortgage or rent is going up, but we're still making the same amount of money. So what are we doing about it? Some people can get side jobs. Some people can actually be in a position to quit their job and make more money somewhere else. But the thing of it is, are we having these conversations? I was just talking to a coworker earlier too, and was expressing to him pretty much because he was saying how his son, he's about 20 in his 20s. His son goes to look up a lot of real estate. What's going on, time in the building? His son looks up a lot of real estate, saying how, yeah, I want to look up this real estate. I want to invest in houses. That's the money maker. My thing that I told him, that's tangible because you can see it. And that's what we do with our money and our value. We try to put it on tangible things so to say, you know, I see where my money's going. Prime example with me one time, I left a job. I took all my 401k out instead of rolling it over. And I was like, man, I'm just going to take this money that I got and I'm going to do something with it. So I went and got my car fixed. I had the time and change went out. I was like almost 1,500 or so dollars. And I did some other stuff, paid some bills. And I'm like, man, I got like $800 or something left. I said, man, I'm going to buy me a TV so I can see my money. Because even though I'm driving that car, no one can say, oh man, I see where you put that timing belt in there and it's doing well for your car. They couldn't see it, you know. But coming into my house, seeing that TV, that was tangible. I can see that. That's the same thing with with real estate. That's why so many people are investing in real estate. A lot of people should be investing more in the stock market. They should be studying the stock market, seeing the waves, catching the trends. Prime example, you had one of the guys who works under Chase Bank and something, I think he deals with another company of investment. And he was just yelling to the top of his lungs that Bitcoin was the worst investment to do. But yet, for his company wise, he goes and invests, his company invests in Bitcoin. So it's like on one end, you got the president of the company saying that Bitcoin is the worst option ever. Anybody invest in Bitcoin is stupid. I'll fire them if they invest in Bitcoin. And then they go invest in Bitcoin with Charles Schwab. So I'm like, on one hand, are we really listening to them and they're giving us good information? On the other hand, you know, it's like the old shell and peanut game. You know, you try to test the peanut, but the peanut is in the hand of the dealer. You know, and that's the thing with the housing market. People are not affording to buy houses, so the major corporations are taking advantage of that, renting these houses in this hot market, charging so much for mortgage. But what can you do? I mean, actually charge so much for rent. But what can you do? You're behind the eight ball. If you have at least 5 to 10 kids, you don't want to live in a two-bedroom apartment. It gets cramped. You know, you're not qualified to buy a house because your credit score is too low for one. Even if you can afford the down payment, I literally knew so many people that had high-end jobs, but because they made crazy decisions when they were younger than high school and in college, making crazy decisions, getting all those credit cards, running them up, never paying them back, getting evicted, getting defaulted on loans. They get to a point where they finally start making money, start paying some of those bills off, start paying some of those debts off, and guess what happens? Credit is shot. They have a nice family, kids, nice car, but can't even afford a house. Don't you know some people can't afford a house due to their luxury car? You literally have this. Mercedes SUV, real nice. You know, have a regular economy Toyota, whatever Camry, real nice. Stay in an apartment. You got the Camry for your son or your daughter that's older. You have this. Let's say your husband has a pickup truck. You have three cars under a car note. High end earners. You make a lot of money, making about $150,000 a year. The credit score 540, 540. You could still get a house, but how much do you have to put down? You know, you're going to be putting out more money than average. They just going to throw you to the ringers. Just throw out enough. Put down 80%. What files is going on? Just put down 80% and we'll let you buy this house. Put down 80%. Most people ain't got 80%, let alone 40%. You know, what about these programs that they have? You know, in the rural areas where you do a 1 to 3% loan. Nobody talks about these USDA loans. USDA loans, as long as you're staying, I think it's within 45 minutes to an hour or so-called 40 miles or something out of the limits or something like that to a degree, you're able to get a USDA loan. Why people are not taking advantage of this? You know, USDA loans are the way to go. You know, why not people are taking advantage of these programs? They literally have banks that have down payment assistance programs. But who's talking about this? You know, they literally have all these programs available for first time home buyers. You can literally just Google search first time home buyers in your area. Just like I expressed to my son, my oldest son. I told him, when you're ready to buy a house, let's go with the point of getting you a duplex or a quad. You stay at one, you rent out the other. Rent out the rooms in your house. If you get a 3 bedroom duplex, you only gonna be staying in one room. You don't have a girlfriend. Rent them out. When you have your girlfriend, hey, give your tenants a 12-month lease, then they gotta go. What's going on wellness with Frugal Mama? You know, and like I say, just get back into it. Going back to the mindset. You know, we can run the rat race and stand on the job. You know, 40 years, never take off. You know, dedicated to the job. When you're old in that nursing home or you sitting there at your own home, you're thinking about all the trips that you missed. Everybody went on trips. You just couldn't take off. I'm like that sometimes. My wife literally has to force me because I'm looking at the money in the long term. I want to retire early, so my thing is I need to make as much money and invest and do something with it to get a return. Like how many of us are even having this conversation? One of my friends, me and him have conversations long term, like, man, I want to be able to afford this when I'm old. Not, man, I just want these Jordans, right? I can't even tell y'all the last time I bought a pair of Jordans. I can literally count on two hands how many times I've actually bought Jordans for me. Two hands, because when you're young, you had this whole Jordan craze. When I was able to buy my own shoes, Jordans were the first things I wanted to buy. I wanted to buy something that looked good, that was casual for me to get by. I went to the Jordan phase when I got a little more money, and I was like, I'm not impressed. Like, I'm literally not impressed. I'm sitting here buying these shoes when these other shoes are over here that are almost relatively around the same price. I'm overspending for what? That's when I had that understanding. Like, I'm literally making Jordan rich doing this, even though these are some nice shoes and I buy, support, but dude, at the end, like, I'm literally spending all this money for what? Same thing with clothes. I'm very much into fashion. You know, tell my son that all the time. My brother, man, then we're having a conversation with my son. I was like, I traveled when I was in high school, working at my job that I graduated and started working at. So I had range of every market design, every big name hip hop company that was out at the time, I pretty much had range to go get it from the state it was originated, better quality clothes. We always have that conversation. Which coats are better, the coats in New York, Chicago versus the coats down south? The coats up north are lined better. They have, thicker material. Down here, don't get that cold. So in Georgia, you're not having these big old puff coats that really goose feather insulated unless you're buying them online or you're buying them from a site because the goose feather coats down here, they're thin. It's small paper bags. The ones that are up north, they look like pillows. Those things are stuffed with goose feathers. So it's a major difference. You know, and like I said, going back into that mindset, like literally, when you don't have as much money, and we talked about this on Big Duke's channel, 4 quarter talk. We literally talked about the mindset of when you don't have any money, you eat different. You know, shout out to Before the Billions. Uh, he said when he was working a warehouse job before the billions, was eating that 4 for 4. He said I was going crazy on the 4 for 4. Going crazy on the 4 for 4. I upped my skills, got a tech job. He said, man, I can't even tell you, do they even still have the 4 for 4 or 4 for 4? And I was like, no, man. They got the $5 bag. And last time I checked, they was talking about a $6 bag. Who remembers when Subway had the $5 foot long? Because right now, they got the 6 inch half half a foot sandwich. 6 inches for $6. The foot long used to be the biggest thing. Then they had a sale to where I think it was you buy 3 foot longs for $10 or $12 or something like that. I remember my coworker used to go there morning time when I was riding and we were training. He would go buy 3 subs and kill them the whole day. The budget has changed. The mindset of you thinking that, man, I'm making this money, I'm good. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. The money that we spending right now, we're squeezing every single quarter, every single dime. It might don't look like it, but I guarantee you, when you pick up that menu, you're looking at the price. When you're in that restaurant, you're looking at the price. When you're in the grocery store, you're adding up how much you're buying compared to how much is in your account. Because don't get there and overspend. You got to put some stuff back in the register. And most people dread that because it kind of gets a little like notice like I ain't got no money, you know, and it do happens like that. But at the same time, having the understanding that when we sit here and talk amongst our friends, a lot of us are not saying, man, I need to retire good, I need the savings, I need to be invested, I need nah, it's man, you want something to drink, you want something to smoke, man, I see you got on that new outfit, man, that outfit is fire. You literally have people spending $1,200 on an outfit and take it back to the store. You don't think they smell the smoke? That's why a lot of these stores, even though you have the tag on, it's still killing you. You know, that's why most people are smart on putting that tag on the inside, putting something around the tag so it won't get messed up. All this stuff. Did you wear this? No, I tried it on. I took it back off. But everybody remember this stuff. When it comes down to it, like I go back and say, a lot of times our parents didn't teach us a lot of financial literacy. You know, in school I learned how to balance the checkbook. That's when they came in with the app to download and look at all your transactions. So nobody was balancing checkbooks no more. I remember when I first got my wife, she was balancing her checkbook, and I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, every time I spend my money, I put it in here, I subtract it." I was like, "They got that for on the app that you could do that." She's like, "I still like to do it because it keeps track of my money. It cuts back on overdraft because if you're doing it that way, you know how much money you got in your account. If you're depending on the app, it's gonna tell you the amount of and it didn't come out. I did this and it didn't come out. They will literally hold charges over the weekend to like Wednesday when I used to be with Wells Fargo. One of the worst banks. One of the worst. I didn't lie like dealing with. They like I always tell this horror story. They hit me for 7 overdrafts. It was my fault, but they hit me for 7 overdrafts. I literally came in, you know, thinking that hey, they processed the payments according to the order that had a debit coming out on that Monday. So I'm like, they're gonna process those other payments first. The automatic debit is coming out on Monday. I'm gonna be okay. They snatched the automatic debit because it was the biggest. It was my cell phone bill. Every little single charge they took out. I was like, I got the money. I just do no call. I didn't want to have to walk down the street to a bank. I do it when I get off from work. I was already late. Hit me for 7 overdraft. Call them, tell them, get on them. They took 1 or 2 off, but it was like, nope, we give you the mother 5. I was like, man, this is just crazy, you know. And that's the point. Dealing with this mindset of not having financial literacy, it's harder for you to grasp the concept on how to make money work. It's harder for you to grasp the concept that, you know, cool gaming, what's going on with you. I gotta start learning how to get these wrenches back over here. Yeah, but when it comes down to it, man, like I said, the mindset. And the biggest thing that one of the guys taught me from the space that I was over in, they say when you turn 18, it's no excuse. So in so many words, when you turn 18,